Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the Division of Revenue Bill 2026. Honorable Speaker, I am glad that after the conversation and after the pull and push between the Senate and the Council of Governors, that we have opportunity to debate and contribute to this bill. Honorable Speaker, the Senate is in that space where we must play our role as the house that would fight and for the protection of devolution by ensuring that we negotiate, put our best foot forward to negotiate for adequate funds to be given to county governments in order for devolution to actually work as it was intended. Honorable Speaker, and after fighting for devolution, Honorable Speaker, I wish Cherargei will just let people contribute. I feel disrupted. I feel I don't have your ear as the conversation is going on.
This year is on your side, so don't mind. I'm just getting some direction.
You are a miracle worker that you can listen to Cherargei at the same time hear what I'm saying. Honorable Speaker, when Senator Cherargei contributed, I listened. In fact, I was on the chair. I listened very, very carefully. I just want to urge that you would also have respect for the others as we contribute. Listen, I'm sure you'll have some good point to add. Honorable Speaker.
Is your point of order, Senator Cherargei?
Mr. Speaker, standing on the number one, and I request Senator Mumma is saying I don't respect the House or her. Yet you cannot approach the Speaker without your permission. You are the one who beckoned me to approach the. Does it show that I am showing disrespect? I thought you had called me for 1 or 2 consultations. I didn't do it in bad faith. So can the Senator, and I respect her, I normally listen to her submission. So I don't know why she's taking an offense and the Speaker beckoned. Unless as a Speaker she rarely calls people to approach her. I don't know.
Honorable Speaker, my point was this, and Honorable Cherargei, I would request you be humble enough to listen, that in every day we have to actually call you to lower your voice in order for people to listen. That's what I was referring to. I have no problem with you approaching the chair, but listen when the others.
Mumma, stop addressing Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just wanted to make, he wanted me to verify, and that's what I was saying, and I was just requesting very humbly that even as we listen to you, please also listen to us. Honorable Speaker, I was making the point that we were angry as the Senate by the manner in which the Council of Governors conducted themselves, and we had said we will defer the conversation on the Division of Revenue bill. And I'm glad that we've come to discuss it, because that is a constitutional responsibility that we must actually attend to. And we also have the constitutional responsibility to also oversight how these funds are deployed, and therefore both roles are roles of the Senate, and without shame, without fear, we will carry out both in a manner that the people of Kenya contemplated when they gave this role to the Senate. Honorable Speaker, even as I say so, I would want to support that those who have argued that the Senate must go back to negotiate for more funds. Our committee has recommended 454 billion, and the CRA has recommended more money than that. My view is, first, we need to know that 450 billion is the amount, and I speak as a member of ODM, as a member of who is aware of that this issue was discussed as part of the MOU between ODM and the government. There are those who pride themselves that we are doing a lot as broad-based. And I would want to say, in good faith, if at all the government respects Raila Odinga, we need to actually at least honor his memory by doing what is right. 450 was supposed to be given in the past financial year. So in this financial year, we should be going up. So I want to urge the government that we need to give more to counties, and to also urge the government to know, in my view, my humble advice to any national government that will be there, that the national government that embraces devolution best will actually develop this country faster. Because a lot of the service delivery that is required to trigger the economic growth are in functions that are carried out by county governments. So when we hold up the money, and yet the development budget for national government is not more than 30%, we actually end up with the grumbling that is happening. Honorable Speaker, 420 is not enough for this reason, that we still have functions listed in the 4th schedule that have never been implemented by some counties. Counties are always complaining that they do not have enough money. The wage bill is still high, as you are aware. Key services like agricultural extension services have been relegated. They're not there. We have not had enough money to deploy in the health sector, for instance, to do effective preventive health. We actually are misusing CHPs, who are given 2,500 to carry the burden of doing preventive health for a government that should actually not think otherwise. 2,500 is an insult. So properly speaking, we should be trying to find monies that we can deploy if we are serious about UHC, that we can deploy both in preventive health and in our public facilities. Bulk of the services carried out by government, by county governments, in order for us to be able to achieve what we are talking about. Honorable Speaker, the model of UHC in health in Kenya cannot be achieved when we are giving a drop of the amounts of money that we are giving to counties. Honorable Speaker, we have functions like the museum, the libraries, which were the national government had held on, has transferred, but the monies were not transferred. Honorable Speaker, along the line in the 4th schedule, with the mandate on ECDE and VTCs, there is the other function of care institutions. Care institutions are particularly required by the most vulnerable in this country. The young girls who go to work for the middle class people and from the informal settlements are the ones who need care services for their children in order for them to go and do some days work and come back to feed that family. Honorable Speaker, I'm in the Committee on Education. That is a function that nobody is implementing. And they're not implementing because it looks like the easy one to fall off because the money is not enough. The museums would best keep our culture. I would want to find out any of you in your counties, which county is implementing that function properly. In fact, my suggestion, Honorable Speaker, and I would want you to take these suggestions further with the House, is that the Senate, in the 14th year after devolution, has kicked off should actually prepare a better indicator on the functions that should be implemented by county governments for us to be able to evaluate, to find out how many of the functions that were given to the counties are being implemented. How many are not being implemented? But we know part of the problems of governors is because they don't have enough money. So the natural thing is to drop off what looks like luxury. But those functions are not luxury. They are not luxury. We need to actually ensure that every function is implemented. It cannot be implemented when we only add 5 billion to what was given last year, knowing very well the economy is not seriously growing, inflation is a factor. What are we trying to achieve? But when we come to oversight as well, and I'm urging that our finance team and whoever will be in the mediation should fight for the maximum. And I would say we go for the CRA proposed share. When we come to the oversight, we must also audit the expenditure by county governments and governors against the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, it is despicable that a governor would proudly share on how many millions they have given 500 million to bursaries, which is not their function, but will not have built one ECDE, which is their function. We also need to get governors in a room to understand what their function is. They are not above the law. So we cannot go fighting as a Senate for them to get more money, and we hear governors assigning illegal MOUs to give conditional grants to the national government on bursaries. An issue that the whole world, all politicians want to give monies to. The members of the National Assembly, the president separately, all these cards giving scholarships. What is in this bursary? We need a proper evaluation of that. And we need to surcharge the governors who've taken money that is little, instead of deploying to functions that they are actually assigned under the 4th schedule, who go to assign it to other issues. I can see in the bill the national government is talking about cost cutting, some of the things that were put into account. I agree, as a nation we need to understand what is a priority and what is not a priority. And one of the things we must look at both county and national government levels is the parallel governments, in the name of advisors, in the name of these people who are employed willy-nilly by governors, by the president, and whose impact on the budget we have never been told properly. In fact, the Senate might also want to find out how much budget line is being deployed by governors to the employment of the fleet of advisors who are more than their CECs and those who are employed to carry out functions. So in the 14th year, Honorable Speaker, I think beyond what we did this morning, that I want to give accolades to the Senate for, particularly the Senate Secretariat, I think we need to also come up with a publication of what is the state of the implementation of the functions assigned to counties. And we need to start auditing each county against that standard. We need to actually to be able to call out county governments that have spent monies on things that they should not have spent on. Properly speaking, they need to be personally surcharged with their finance officers, because that is what was contemplated by the Constitution. Nobody is above the law. And when you go above the law, you actually should be penalized. And the Constitution contemplated that you will be personally penalized for making decisions that were not within the law. So even as I support, I want to ask that we vigorously campaign and lobby for more money. We must tell the president that we still have a lot of money held at the national government. Monies for roads. We still have parastatals that are holding functions of the counties, money that should be counties, still with the counties, still being held by national government. So the national government cannot afford to throw a token 5 billion extra to the counties. But the committees must also be firm and tell the governors, we will do what we are supposed to do, including ensuring that you spend the monies that you are given to the functions that you are supposed to spend on. And you cut down on expenditure that is unnecessary so that we can get services. Honorable Speaker, I feel if we are not careful, the people of Kenya are getting tired. The combination of the role of Parliament, executive, even the judiciary, we need to start doing our job guided by nothing but the Constitution. And I believe if we implement this Constitution as was contemplated, this country will go far. I believe the national government that will come up and embrace devolution, and all of them lie to us when they're campaigning, that they support devolution. But when they come, they are the first ones affirming parastatals carrying out roles that are not theirs. I want to ask the broad-based government, we now have the chair of budget is an ODM member. The CS Treasury is an ODM member. Raila Odinga stood for devolution. Raila Odinga had asked in his lifetime that 450 in the last financial year be sent to county governments. If you truly respect him, including the president, if you truly respect Raila Odinga, you need to know we need to give the 450 we should have given in the last financial year, and we need to mark it up in this financial year, and I am asking that we mark it up to what the CRA has recommended in good faith. And let us find other ways of ensuring that we save cost on the largesse that is happening to ensure that we find that money. And I believe that money is there and can be found to go to the counties. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.